Podcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Happy Monday, everybody. Let me turn up my volume here. Happy Monday, everybody. I hope you had a great weekend. We're going to go ahead and get started here in a moment or two. Just allow the remaining people to get logged in. If you attended the previous webinar, that is recorded. There's a link available to watch it. And that one covered creating custom IDX links, some Seller's Corner stuff. Today I wanted to kind of go through was organizing your database and giving you some different perspectives on utilizing the CRM and organizing yourself so that when you send out emails, they were with more of a purpose as opposed to just blasting out a message to everybody. So we're going to get started here at 10:03. So I have 10:01 right now. So at 10:03, we'll get it going. We've had a few more people jump in here. And so if you have a notepad, maybe grab a notepad. I'm going to take some notes. And then once this webinar is done recording, I'll add it to the GoToMeeting channel and just email me. And I will send you the link. So my email address is tawd@propertyminder.com. Okay. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and we'll get started now. Okay. So today I want to discuss utilizing the CRM so that it applies to really what you're trying to accomplish. So if you look at the CRM as the umbrella of your marketing, it protects your marketing. It lets you know the effects of your marketing, stuff like that. So you have a database filled with buyers and sellers, and that's what everybody is in your database. They're either one or the other. There's no other option, right? Either somebody doesn't own a home or they own a home. Somebody who owns a home may be thinking about buying another home, an investment property. Somebody might own two homes and wants to sell one. However it may be, everybody in your database is either a buyer or a seller. They could be your friend, they could be a family member, but you have to market to their consumer status. Then you market to them on a personal level and provide them information so they don't get from other places, right? So you have a website that is the digital version of you, and your objective is to get your clients to come to your website as often as possible. And that's where the CRM comes into play. Okay, so let's go ahead and log in here. So I'm going to get into the client relationship manager. I'm going to talk about creating groups today. Okay, so here's the captured visitors group, and if you're familiar with this one is any activity that happens throughout the day, whatever, it's all time stamped, right? This is let you know what's going on. So if a person that's already in your database requests for more information or schedule an appointment, it loads up here. It's showing you what's happening. If a new lead comes to your website and registers, it's gonna show up here, and from them you can put them into a particular group, right? So here's your buyers and here's your sellers. Everybody that's in your database, the total contact list right here, should be in one of these groups, right? Now you have additional groups, right? So let's go ahead and create some and come up with some perspective on some different groups, right? So I've added these two. Open house visitors. I'm a Coldwell Banker agent. I do open houses for other agents trying to grow my business. And when I meet somebody, and I ask them if they have a realtor, if they have somebody right now that's keeping them aware of their home's value, however I go about it. And if they say no, then I say, well, I would love to work with you. I'd love the opportunity to keep you informed of what's happening in your neighborhood. So I can take that person, they live in that neighborhood, they obviously own a home, and I can put them into two different groups, right? I can put them into the sellers group right here, and I can put them into the open house group, right? Now, over the course of time, we've had some conversations, right? We've discussed on certain occasions. I've sent them out, some emails on with Sellers Corner. I followed up with those emails, and we end up communicating. And I tell them that, yeah, I'm going to go play at a Olympic Club on Wednesday, which is true. By the way, I'm playing at Olympic Club in San Francisco on Wednesday. It's amazing. I'm really excited about it. So we end up talking. He goes, "Oh, I'm a golfer too," right? That kind of stuff. So then can put him into the golf course context. So you have one person in multiple groups. So you could have people in more than one group so that you can market to them on multiple levels. If another property goes on the market in that neighborhood and you know that this individual is a nosy neighbor, right? They're trying to educate themselves. They're trying to see inside the property. Something else nearby goes on the market. Hey, I don't know what you have going on this weekend. His house nearby went on the market, right? You can follow up with the Seller's Corner look. If they've lived in their house for, more than 5 years and you find out that they haven't done any home improvements, but they've been thinking about it, and you send out a message to your sellers about, the types of home improvements that help with value, right? When everything, if you do like neutral, here's some color schemes, what people are paying most attention to when they go into a home, the kitchens and bathrooms, things like that, backyard, whatever it may be. Your marketing is tailored to this individual or this group, right? So you have a group of people who all fall under the umbrella of sellers. And then some of those people you might have met on the golf course, right? As I play golf, right? Twice a week or 3 times a week, however many times I'm playing. If I have a conversation with someone and I let them know that I'm a realtor, they're like, "Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, and I go, "Hey, do you have an agent? Do you have somebody that you can turn to ask any question about the value of your home or what's happening around you?" And then no, just give me your information. So they're there because I know that person likes to golf, and so I can send them stuff about, maybe some discounts. Maybe I got through Golf Now, or I'm on the mailer for a bunch of different golf courses where they have these stay and play packages. I could share that with people that I know that like to golf. And if one of those individuals takes up that offer, and they go and play golf with their friends, and they say, "Hey, how did you get this?" "Oh, yeah, my realtor sent it to me." And then that creates a referral opportunity, because that's just me being top of mind. That's me being present in that individual's life. It doesn't have to be you sending out an email all the time. The best way to compliment me is refer your friends or family. Like, every agent has it in their signature, right? That asking for a referral doesn't mean that you necessarily get them. Because if that were the case, you would do 300-400 deals a year. But there's people that are in your database that are referring business to you on a regular basis, more so than others. So by saying that you work off of referrals is a complete farce. You work off of, because you're not getting referrals from everybody, and the amount of business that you're doing per year, you're not completely saturated. You could obviously do more business, right? You're not so inundated. And if to be that busy, and if you are, congratulations, tip of the cap to you. But if you aren't, and you're saying I work off of referrals, and you're sitting there waiting for people that you know to tell other people about you, is not adequate enough. You need to begin to organize who in your database is actually referring business to you, who in your database is actually contributing to your bottom line, and which people aren't, and begin to focus on the people that aren't, and marketing to them and sending them more valuable information. Because if you're getting 10 referrals a year, and you look at who those individuals are, and they're people that you know on a pretty personal level, somebody who probably has your cell phone number saved in their phone, somebody that you interact with on a fairly routine basis. These are the people that are contributing to your lifestyle, but not everybody in your database is referring business to you. That's not happening. So what I would begin to do, if I were you, is to be organized and organize yourself a lot. You can't be too organized. There's no way around it. You don't just dump everybody in your Property Minder CRM, leave them in the contact list, and just send out loose, ambiguous emails just to fill up their inbox because you were told that you need to email your clients on a regular basis, but you have no rhyme or reason what you're sending. It's just, oh, I'm going to send out the market snapshot because that's automatic. Oh, and I can turn on all the holiday messages. That stuff's not enough. That doesn't do anything for you. Those are like, that's filler, right? That's the inside of a Twinkie. It's on occasion, yeah, somebody's going to react and see it and they go, oh, I've been thinking about selling. Great. But those aren't the reason why you do business. People choose you as a realtor because you're good at your job. You work hard for them. Because if you were lazy and you didn't really care and just went through the motions, you wouldn't get any referrals. So the fact that you're getting referrals means that people respect your work ethic. But it's how to get more people to see your work ethic, how to get more of these individuals to understand that you are a source of information, that you're aware of not only what it takes to buy or sell a home, but what's happening in their immediate neighborhood. Your follow-up is quite good. You've taken the time to learn about them on a personal level and can begin to market to their individual needs. Like for me, what I do at an open house, I'll give you an example. I do it in Santa Cruz a lot. So I grew up in Santa Cruz County. I used to live in Aptos. And me living there virtually 2/3 of my life, I know where everything is. I know what restaurants are really good. There's a lot of people that are looking for a secondary home in Santa Cruz. And, if I'm sitting there doing an open house for a $2 million property, some wealthy Silicon Valley exec is over the hill on the weekend hanging out with his family and going to go look at a couple of homes. And I ask them, hey, have you eaten yet today? And then I can refer them some restaurants and say, and I can email them, hey, here's a list of restaurants. I know the owners at several of them, and I can say, hey, tell them Todd sent you. Stuff like that, where they feel like I'm a specialist in the area, and then I can engage with them. Hey, how was the restaurant? Did you enjoy yourself? Awesome. So there's a conversation that's happening. So being organized is going to help you. I can't stress that enough. So let's go ahead and create some different types of referrals, right? Or groups. So top referrers, right? Create a group. Put all the people that refer you business in this group, right? You can see them. And then put in the people that have, if you go like referred in the last year, last 2 years, last 3, or you can grade them. A refers, B, C, and D. D meaning they've never given you one. C, maybe they've given you one in the last, 6, 7 years. B is they've given you one in the last 3 years. And A, they've given you one in the last year. Or they've done more than one. However you want to go about it. But begin to create groups. Nobody else can see these groups. It's not like you're given access to your toolkit. So, this is all private information. Like, don't be scared to really on your own time identify people who are actually making you money, because those are the types of people that you want to stay in contact with. Like, you have all your people in the top referrers group that have made you a decent amount of money. Like, there are a couple of referrals in your lifetime, you've made $30,000, $40,000 from just their mouth. Take care of them, right? Those are the people that you send personal emails. Those are the people that you text message and just see how they are. Those are the people that you send, gift cards at Christmas time, whatever it may be. But like, organize yourself. And then you have the different grades. You have A, B, and C. Let's create another group here and go average referrers, or you can do B, right? And if there was A, B, C, and D, you can do, I mean, you know who's referring. I mean, it's when you get a referral, right? Hey, who referred you? Oh, outstanding. And then you, I mean, obviously, you like, I would hope. I mean, if you're not doing it, it's weird, but you are saying thank you, right, to the people, like you, because I mean that's normal, right? But so if somebody's never referred, right, you know that these people have never referred business to you, so then like these are the people to really focus on, and that's kind of what I want to discuss is when you've put people into this category here, and you're like, okay, I've never got a referral from this individual. I've spoke with them. I feel like, you know, I kind of know them on a fairly decent level here. There's reasons why they don't refer business to you. One, maybe somebody that is in their family is an agent as well, and they're obviously trying to help them out as much as possible. Or B, they don't know your domain name. They don't know your cell phone number. They don't know your email address. None of these things, right? Like there's reasons why. So I mean, if you think about like on a referral level, let's say that I'm out and about, right? I'm in the office. I'm somewhere, some friends, this and that. Now, I end up having a conversation with a friend of mine, right? And let's say that I'm not an agent. I'm just Todd Frensley, just a normal guy. And one of my friends says, "Yeah, I'm thinking about buying a house." I go, "Awesome." Like, where are you thinking about living, right? They're like, "Oh, here and there, and this and that." I'm like, "Are you? I mean, have you gone and looked at any properties yet?" And then it's, yeah, a little bit. I'm like, "So do you have an agent, or are you just going to open houses, or where are you finding these properties?" "No, I don't really have an agent. We've just been looking on like Zillow, or we've been looking on Redfin, or Realtor.com, whatever it may be." And they go, "Oh, do you know an agent?" I go, "Yeah, I do." Now, at that moment, it would be very advantageous for me to either have the cell phone number of the agent, because I could share it immediately, right? You can, on a smartphone, you can just share a contact. It's a very helpful tool. Or if I've had enough interaction with them, hey, here, this is his email address, or if I like the person well enough, I might go back to my house that day and remember to share the contact information. And let's say that none of those things are happening. I don't have their cell phone number, right? It's just there's been some emails, but I did like the agent at some point. They were very helpful. I remember their domain name, so I can just tell them their domain name. Now, because that person that I'm referring to right now is not in front of a computer, you don't know how many hours are going to go by until they get a chance to look that up. So even though you might have customers, clients of yours in your database who have told people about you, it's not 100% guaranteed that even if they did refer someone to you, that person actually used you, because it's the strength in which they know your basic contact information and, most importantly, domain name that's going to dictate that person actually getting connected with you. It's very important, because I'm not taking that friend of mine and being like, "Hey, you need a realtor? Go ahead, let's get in my car right now. I'll drive you to their office." Like, that's not happening, right? So people they want you to succeed, and they're going to tell people about you, but it's really up to you on them making sure that they have your contact information. And so by breaking apart your database into all these groups, right? So you're going to go into your sellers group, and you can send out a blast message to all your sellers. This is what buyers are looking for. The market is picked up in the, so-and-so. Your office has some sort of newsletter, and you can take some snippet from it, or you can go to your state association, and there's a bunch of flyers. They'll have like monthly, like CAR, for example. They have every month they have like some marketing stuff that they do. They put together like a graphic flyer that you can take and you can send it out to people just to give them some understanding of the state of California, or you can do it by county. I mean, they've even broken it down by county. So there's a lot of resources that you can send to those individuals, buyers. this is what's going on. These neighborhoods are picking up, blah, 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 blah. If you've loaded up inside Property Minder CRM here, or the toolkit, we have HomeRela, right? And you can manually enter the contact information of your, inspectors or, plumbers, electricians, anybody that can. It's home improvement stuff, right? So you can invite your homeowners to come to your site and get free quotes from these individuals. As soon as you enter in this information, that service provider gets an email with a login and password to be able to communicate directly with your customers on your website. So if you're looking for reasons to invite people to your site, here's one, right? Hey, let me help you out. If you've at all thought about doing any sort of home improvements, here's some of my trusted providers that I've used. If you just want to get some basic pricing, and it's all right here, it makes you a little bit more valuable, right? So now when it comes into creating groups, right? And creating, here's sellers, and you have sellers who might be in other groups, right? You might have a seller who's also in golf contacts, for example. But being organized, and it's here's the one thing. Honestly, this bothers me a little bit when because I still sell on occasion, right? I bring on people, and I ask them, hey, how many homeowners do you know? And they give me some weird number, right? They go, like 30. Well, how long have you been in real estate? 20 years. All right. So how many homes have you sold in those, 20 years? Oh, I don't know, like hundreds. Like, so you, like a buyer, like you physically got a buyer and then you like helped them find a house, right? Like, yeah, a bunch of times. And you don't think that person is a seller? Why? Like, I don't know, because they haven't asked if to come to me about selling. That doesn't dictate. The word seller is like, oh, this means like because they want to sell right now. That's crazy. It's like if I owned a restaurant, right, and I had a list of people that that I could email to, like, hey, we're having a discount, or to buy one get one free, whatever it may be, right? And then I have a group called eaters, right? And it's only the eaters who are in the restaurant right now, because there's no way that the rest of those individuals are going to get hungry at some point. So why would I email them? Like that's what you're telling me when you say that. And it drives me crazy, because a seller, look at it as the next thing they're going to do, right? They own a home. They've owned that home for 5 years. At some point, they may want to sell. At some point, this individual and their spouse will say, you know what? We've outgrown this house. We've had way too many children, right? We've procreated past the point of these walls, and now we need something larger. Or all their kids have moved out, right? Now they want to downsize. They want to simplify. Maybe they're getting older and they want to have a single story as opposed to going up and down stairs, because the last thing they want to do is, install one of those automated chairs that kind of slowly drag you up the stairs to your bedroom, because that's kind of, no one really wants one of those, let's be honest. And then, or they hate their neighbors. They're just sick of their neighbors. They bought their home as an investment. Now it's time to sell. They got a job somewhere and they need to move out of the area, or they're underwater. Like, one of those factors are going to happen, right? And it's, where are you in the thought process for them to consider you as an option? Because you can't make anybody sell. But the fact that you are saying that you only know this many homeowners or sellers is not true. Like, so we had to change the question. Like, how many homeowners do you know? How many people do you know that physically own a home? And then I asked the next question, what are you sending to them? How often do they hear from you? What exactly do you send to them? And then it's this and that. And again, then my response is always, yeah, that's not enough. That's not enough. Your objective for marketing to your homeowners is not just to get referrals, right? It's to stay top of mind. It's to create some level of loyalty. It's to bring them from their inbox to your website so they can see you on an ongoing basis, right? That is the reason why marketing exists. Like there's no reason Coca-Cola doesn't even have to spend billions of dollars on advertising, but yet they do. Why? Because they still want to be in front of people. Because as soon as they're not, there's other options. So they're trying to corner people and say, hey, we're the only option. We've been an option for you for many years. We still want to be that option. We're willing to do whatever it takes to maintain that level of loyalty. And you got to look at your business the same way. But the amount of money that you could make on staying in front of these people is substantial, right? It's substantial. Every human being in your database is not only worth their next transaction, but it's the transaction after that or any referral. And how many people do they actually know? I mean, if you look at how Facebook operates, if you have Facebook and you have a community of individuals, let's say 200 people, right? Those are your friends. Let's put quotations around the word friends, because if you had to move and you said, hey, I need to move this week, anybody want to help? I don't think all those 200 people would come knocking on your door, right? So it's not like a real friend, but they're friends, digital friends. And you post something on Facebook, right? So you post something that warrants some sort of snicker or some debate or a photo that they could like or a comment on something. When they do that, that interaction, them liking that photo or commenting, opens that up to everybody that they know. So you are inadvertently creating referrals by putting yourself in front of everybody that they know. So that's like social referral. You're not asking for it. You're just putting yourself in front of people. So, I mean, if you look at it, you do have to multiply. It's like an exponential equation, right? So 200 individuals, and they each know 200 people. I mean, your reach is like 40,000. That's like a decent sized town. That's a good amount of folk. And not everybody has a realtor, right? So if you look at it in the same capacity, everybody that you know that owns a home, everybody that you know that's thinking about buying, your marketing to them is also going to dictate if you get any referrals from them in the future. So by you saying that you work off of referrals, but you're not looking at it through this lens, then you don't really work off of referrals. That's an incorrect statement. What you should say is, I wait for people to tell other people about me. That's what I do. I'm just going to sit here and wait for the next person to just remind someone that I'm a realtor at some point. That's how I operate my business. Because you telling me that you work off of referrals, what are you doing to get them? That's my question to you. What are you doing to get referrals? Because if you stay organized and you say, hey, these individuals right here have actually referred business to me in the next year or in the last year, great. Okay? How many more people do they know? These people referred business to me in the last 3 years. Okay. When's the last time they gave you a referral? A couple years ago. I'm sure they know some people that have bought or sold a home. Let's be honest. So it's based off of the relationship you have with each of those individuals. So what I always tell people, and this is what we're going to finish with two things here. We have what I would do if I were you. Go into your contact list and send out an email to everybody. And don't pick a graphic template. Just leave it plain. Just leave it a white email. And have the contact salutation. So I hope you know like contact salutation. This is important. Salutation when you in your contacts, especially when you import your contacts, you can choose how your CRM addresses this person. Everybody can be different. I like to keep it as informal, hi, first name. That's my favorite one. You can even, if you have some people you call Mr., by all means. It's a little strange to me, but I like hi first name. So everybody that gets an email from me in my CRM says hi first name. Hi, Vernon. Hope you're well, right? So now you go and you create an email, right? Create an email and send it out to everyone, right? So here's like send a message, and this is what it would be, right? So you have the option of selecting from a message library, which are canned emails. They're a little bit more stringent. So I like to go to this select create new message manually. And it's just like you're emailing somebody to follow up, right? So you can just come in here, put in a subject line, and then start typing. How have you been? It's been a while. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to see how things are going with you. Talk to you soon. And just send it. And then see who replies. Right? It'll tell you real quick, who's getting your email. Right? Like if you send out 400 emails, and so like, hey, how are you? Like, how have you been? Right? And then like you send out 400 and like 4 people reply. Then you need to work on the relationships with 396 people. Right? You got to figure out what's going on there. Because if somebody sends me, even if I don't even like them that much, if I got an email, right, and they said, hey, how have you been, Todd? Right? And I go, yeah, I'm good, man. How are you? Like, and like, I don't really want to reply. I don't care. But I also don't I'm not trying to be like a crazy jerk, right? So you human nature is going to kind of cause you to reply back. So if people aren't replying to your most basic email, then that means that they're not getting the other things that you're sending them. Maybe they have a primary email address. Maybe they have an email address that they're using most of all, and that's like their main one. Maybe it's like the one that's on their cell phone. And this is an old email address. So if you have their cell phone number, maybe send them a text message. Try that next. And then start to update the contact information. Like if you have a bunch of old emails, that's not really helping you. That's not going to do you any good. You're just filling up an account they never check. Like I have my tfriendly@gmail account, and that's the one I use when I sign up to buy something online. And that email account has 8,348 unread messages. I don't ever check it. It's kind of pointless. I have Property Minder, I have my CB NorCal, and I have one other one that I use on an ongoing basis. And the other one is just kind of there. It's the catch-all, right? So that might be happening. And so what's the next step? Okay, if these people aren't replying, and so you could create a group like, hey, my active users. Create a group, active users in your CRM, people that are actually replying, people that are engaging, the people that are receiving, listing alerts from the MLS search, or people that are receiving Seller's Corner. Like those are like your active users. And then you have your non-active users. And if your non-active users is substantially higher than your active users, then you have to take it upon yourself to try to convert those non-active users into active users by any means necessary. If you have their email address, another one, if you have their cell phone, if you have their home phone, if you have their home address, whatever it may be, reaching out to that person to try to bring them back, because that person, regardless of what you think, that person is worth a substantial amount of money in your real estate career. It's not only their next transaction, but any referral that they can bring to you. And so this is what I recommend, okay? Begin to be organized. Take it upon yourself. Today's Monday. Today's follow-up from the weekend, right? If your day's off today, whatever it may be. But one day this week, just sit down and start to create some new groups that are relevant to you. If you go wine tasting and you meet people at the winery and you hit it off, and then, yeah, if you like wine and your friends like wine, you can send them stuff about wineries, right? My wife and I, we went on a hike yesterday in Los Gatos, and we were just cruising through, and we ended up at Testarossa. Awesome winery. Just random, right? Because it's fun. Just go hang out and, try something out. You kind of never know. So if you have people that have like interests like you, then or you know what their interests are, you can send them stuff. If they're like really big into community, you can let them know if there's any sort of events happening, right? If you have people that live in a particular town, a lot of them, create a group for that town, that city, right? If I have a bunch of contacts who live in Willow Glen, and there's something going on in Willow Glen or a new restaurant or what's going on, I could send that out to them. Hey, check out this. I tried this restaurant. It's amazing. It's great. Give it a shot. They go in, they take maybe another couple with them, and hey, how did you hear about this? Oh, my realtor, right? So you're creating referral opportunities like inadvertently. You're just marketing to the needs of people, connecting to them on a personal level. You don't have to ask for referrals all the time. Because if somebody likes you and they remember you, that's it. That's how it happens. Now, as for Seller's Corner, the most important aspect of the toolkit here is anybody that you know that owns a home, put them into the sellers group, the sellers folder in your CRM, and get their address. If you help somebody buy a house and you know what that address is, at one point you did, and you didn't update their contact record and put in their home address, shame on you. Shame on you. That's unacceptable, in my opinion. All of these people that you know that own a home, you can send them traditional mailers, right? But with Seller's Corner, you could market to their needs. Take this individual right here who owns a house, bought it in 2014 for $650,000. Homes like his, similar size with smaller lots, are selling for $250,000 more than his home. That's exciting, right? I don't care who you are. In a 3 or 4 year period, 3 years, $250,000 increase. That's exciting. That's like a good return on your investment. Now, at some point, that dude is going to see a house for sale nearby. It's close enough to his. He goes, it's time to sell. Now, I can't make somebody sell. I can't physically email this guy and say, hey, you need to sell your house, dude. That's not real. But at some point when he makes that decision on his own, I just want to be the first person that he thinks of. That is all that you can do. And so by allowing your clients to go in and educate themselves other places, right? And this is what it all boils down to. You have a group of people that own a home. They live in a neighborhood. There's houses nearby that maybe have a similar layout as theirs, especially if they live in a tract home. And a house, 10 doors down, whatever it may be, across the street goes on the market. There's no way that individual is going to have this thought. Oh, a house very similar to ours just went on the market. I don't care what it sells for. I don't want to know what it looks like on the inside. That's not a real thing. Like, nobody wants to stay in the dark. Nobody wants to be stupid. And that's what that is at that point, is somebody acknowledging that there's stuff nearby that is dictating the value of my home, the most important thing that I've ever purchased in my life, the thing that I work so hard every single month to pay a mortgage for. To see a house nearby and not want to know what it looks like or what it's listed for. So if there's no listing flyer because people just take them all the time, then they might Google the address. Well, if you've Googled the address on any property, you'll know that Zillow, Redfin, Realtor.com always pop up 1, 2, or 3, and they rotate. And so this is what ends up happening. If you're not updating your homeowners, they want to update themselves, and they're not coming to you because your website has never been of value to them. It's never been a resource. It's never been a location to get information pertinent to them. If you've set up your MLS searches through the MLS, not through Property Minder, right? We have the entire MLS built into your site. But if you're setting up your searches through the MLS, then that person is all they're thinking is that you don't have a website. That's you're telling your customers that I don't have a website. You have it on your business card, but nothing's coming from it. So then it's pointless. They're not going to come to it when they own a home. It's not going to be a place for them to come and get information. So you have to set this stuff up. A buyer should be receiving listing alerts from Property Minder. It's connected to your domain name. They're on your site looking at these properties, right? That's what that's for. Homeowner, that person now owns a home. Now they're being updated. Somebody that has owned a house for less than a year, you can set them up to get Seller's Corner alerts every 30 days. Why send them the market snapshot, which is the entire county? They own a $1.3 million house, 1.4, 2.8, whatever it may be, or they own a $600,000 dive, and the average home price says X amount of dollars. Well, that information doesn't do them any good, right? Nobody in the history of real estate has put together a CMA based off of a market snapshot. That doesn't do anything. It's comparable properties. You're going to go through and look up homes that are similar in the area, the similar size and lot size, and you're going to dictate the price of that individual's home based off of comparables. So why not drip out those comparables over the course of time through Seller's Corner? Hey, this property just went on the market. It's similar to yours. They might go to that open house, right? If these people aren't hearing from you and that agent says, hey, are you working with anybody? Is anybody letting you know right now what your home is worth? Do you have somebody who's keeping you informed of what's happening in the market? Right? Not really. Okay. Well, I'd love to. I'd love the opportunity to. It's very easy. So defend your database. Be organized and begin to actually market to them, and don't just send out willy-nilly emails in hopes that they're going to remember you and they're going to refer business to you. Because you asking for a referral doesn't mean that you're going to get it. You don't know if it's being delivered. You don't know who they know. If you don't know where they're going to get home value information or where they're searching for properties, all of these things, then your website is not like in their internet history. And that's what you have to focus on, is getting your website in their internet history. That means that everything that you send out should have some sort of link on it, a link to a page on your website. If you are emailing out your database of people that live in a particular city, create a custom IDX link, right? Watch the last webinar, create a custom IDX link. It has a URL, paste that into a message and say, hey, here's everything that's for sale in Willow Glen. Check it out. It's pretty cool. Some beautiful homes, right? They're on your site. And they go, hey, I'm actually thinking about selling. Awesome. Like give yourself a chance is all I'm saying. Just give yourself a chance to actually extract more business from your database by going about it in a methodical, organized way. Otherwise, it's the same thing every single year. More and more of your database will end up in more agents' databases. They're going to get captured on Zillow. They're going to go to more open houses, whatever it may be. But every single year, either you address it and create stronger relationships, so you create some affinity and you create some loyalty, or you allow your database to dissolve over the course of time. It's erosion. It's database erosion. Because I can guarantee you this, there's people in your database that are in somebody else's database. So it's the strength of the marketing that dictates who they think of first for their next real estate decision or conversation about real estate. And the strength of a relationship is going to last a lot longer than any email. You could never send out Seller's Corner alerts, right? You could never send out anything pertinent. But if everybody in your database knew you on a first name basis, everybody in your database had your cell phone number in their phone, and you spent time every single week communicating with them and seeing how they are and checking in, they would always remember you, and you would do tons of business. Tons. Just by having better relationships. So everyone, we did it in 40 minutes. So I hope today was informative. This was recorded. I'm going to load it up into our GoToMeeting channel or GoToWebinar channel, whatever it may be. There's going to be 2 of them there now. So if you missed the previous one, that was a little bit more technical. This one was more conceptual. And if you have any questions, once again, my email is TAWD, Todd. I know. Don't think it. I know it's spelled weird. I get it. Todd@propertyminder.com. Or we have Tim. I believe you got the invites from Tim. They'll be available to you. We'll get those loaded up. And if you have any questions, you want to call in, if you need some one-on-one training, we have it. This is not a training tool for you. I don't do these I'm not teaching you how to do it. I want to give you perspective. I'm going to give you some understanding of something else that you can try to make more money. because we want you to make more money. We want your life to improve, right? If you need some one-on-one training to actually execute some of this stuff, call in. Support's available. All right. Have a great week. Best of luck to you. And thanks for attending. We appreciate it. Bye-bye.